So let's start with the Steelers. Good God, are they awful offensively? Again. So, listen, if Belichick can get fired, if Andy Reid can get fired, and Pete Carroll can get fired, I know he got an extension, but we can be critical of Mike Tomlin. I mean, Russell Wilson had 5 drives and 1 first down. Pass protection was awful. He and Justin Fields, and they're mobile. 10 quarterback hits, 4 sacks. And these guys run well. They can't run the football. Now, they've tried that the last several years. Last year, middle of the pack. So in the last 5 years, Pittsburgh is 30th in total yards per game. Below Carolina. Below teams, dysfunctional teams like the Raiders and Washington. Below, only the Jets and Giants are worse. And it doesn't matter if it's old Big Ben, young Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph. Doesn't matter. And now these guys. 2 mobile guys. They can't move the ball. Pass protection's terrible. And by the way, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields the last 2 years are the most sacked quarterbacks in the league. So if you're wondering why Justin Fields looks skittish and Russell is captain check down this weekend, they don't want to get hit. Would you want to get hit if the last couple of years you're the most sacked guy in the league? I wouldn't want to get hit either. And so when you watch this kind of ineptitude on one side of the ball, it's coaching. I'll tell you why. Because organizations the last 10 years, like Washington, the ownership was bad. They couldn't draft and develop. That's just a broken franchise. The Raiders have felt like a broken franchise. I would say the Jets and the Giants right now. Jets have some players. Let's not be dishonest about that. They got some dudes. But they kind of feel like a broken franchise. Pittsburgh doesn't. Pittsburgh drafts well. Really well. They develop well. They have excellent ownership. They're not the biggest spenders, but they're not cheap. And yet, defensively, they're always elite. Yet they're completely, utterly inept on one side of the ball. That's on the head coach. He's run through coordinators. He's run through quarterbacks. That's on Mike Tomlin. They are awful. When a business is not broken, does many things fundamentally well, and you have a department of the business. You know, maybe the sales part of your business is lousy, but the marketing's good, the engineering's good. Well, then you have to go, as the CEO, you got to go to the sales manager and replace the sales manager because everything else is humming at the company. Like Pittsburgh does everything well. They draft, they develop, free agency, they're smart, it's stable. They are just inept offensively. Young, old, Mason Rudolph, doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Justin Fields and Russell Wilson are running for their lives. So this is Mike Tomlin's culture. It's his locker room. It's his offensive coordinator. It's his responsibility. And Tomlin acknowledged it's not good on that side of the ball.
It's somewhat of an incomplete study because you just don't get a chance to see him operate or us operate or us establish rhythm and personality when you're not winning possession downs. And we weren't. You know, the first 3 or so series of the game, it was, 3 and out, and you're not going to get an opportunity to establish rhythm or play the way that you would like as an individual or a collective. We didn't do a good enough job of protecting the quarterback. We got to do a better job in pass protection than we did, not only in possession downs, but just in general. And I was really upfront with the group about it. In that regard, that can't be a problem for us. We got to be better than we were tonight in that area.
They haven't been good for like 7 years in that area. And they can't produce a rhythm now, last year, the year before, the year before. Again, I think Tomlin would be a great broadcaster. I don't think he's a bad coach. But we're running Andy Reid out of Philly and Pete Carroll out of the NFL and Belichick out of New England. This is the coach's responsibility. How many OCs we've had in the last 7 years? I mean, draft picks. This is an organization like Green Bay that drafts and develops really, really well. It's on Mike.